Hey guys, and welcome to an all-Kislev brawl. I'm a Rubber Duck of War, and today I am taking on the mighty samurai warrior himself in a Kislev showdown, looking at the elemental bear. Now, just for a bit of a heads up, I may sound a little bit different today, and over the next week or so, there's going to be far less streams than usual, and maybe less videos as well. I came out of surgery last night, and obviously feeling a little bit groggy from that. I can't sit down for more than half an hour, basically, at a time for the next couple of weeks. And I'm on some pretty serious painkillers, so maybe a few mistakes. My voice may sound a little bit dead, but hopefully after a couple of weeks we'll be back up and running like usual. But before then, let's delve into this glorious game. So this was done in a King of the Hill, and Samurai Warrior was on a bit of a rampage, so I did the only thing I could do. I challenged him to a great meme-off, bringing the giant elemental bear. We also have some war bear riders that should be able to go toe-to-toe with my opponent's elemental bear. We do have a patriarch only on horseback. The horseback model is pretty freaking badass, but unfortunately is nowhere near as powerful as the bear. But hey, you got to save money when you're bringing the big boys to town. He's coming in with the lullaby for a little bit of HP replenishment, as well as the battle hymn, give an extra melee attack. We are bringing Boris Urson himself to the battlefield. I absolutely adore Boris. He looks so freaking cool. Easily the best bear, in my opinion, mount-wise, with the gold color scheme. And he's an anti-large beast. I think Boris, initially, people thought, hey, he's going to be a bit of a meme, maybe a little bit niche. He is a world-class wrecking ball. Doesn't come with the healing that Constantine does, but hey, you can always bring a patriarch for that endeavor. We have the elemental bear in all its beautiful glory. I love this beastie. Is it good? Absolutely not. I've often struggled to get over 600 to 700 gold value from the beast, and it is worth about 2,200 gold. It loses one-on-one to a Terracotta Sentinel. It loses one-on-one to Scarbrand. It loses one-on-one to Celestial Dragon Guard. It barely beats Sinesh Fiends. Trust me, I have tried all of these out. It really does struggle indeed. Now, its one saving grace is going to be its big breath attack, however, which if shot down the ranks, much like a dragon's breath attack, can do some pretty impressive damage. My opponent going for a little bit more of a typical start, apart from his own bear. We have a double light war sleds, easily the best units in the Kislev roster, although heavy war sleds are also pretty damn decent. We have Constantine as well, leading the charge, coming in with his heals as well as his battle hymns. We have a Frost Maiden of Ice, which is cool to see her brought from the start. She looks pretty damn horrifying, actually, coming to battle on her steed. She's going to be bringing it the Snowflake Pendant. We have Ice Sheet to get a bit of map control by slowing me down, Crystal Sanctuary for that damage resistance, and the Heart of Winter, one of my favorite spells in the game. And of course, there's an Elemental Bear showcasing by my opponent as well. It's going to be a big old bear showdown. Then early stages, we're going to suffer, of course. My opponent has more range, more flexibility with his build in general with these light war sleds. Be pushing forward and poking down at my war bears. But if I can get on top of the war bear with my own big ones as well as my elemental bear, I should be in a fantastic position. A load of shots being laced towards the elemental bear. We are going to drive them off with our war bear riders, but before we can get anywhere near catching, my opponent comes with the Ice Sheet. Maybe a little bit premature though. I don't know if we would have had enough about us to catch them anyway, but I guess it's better to be safe than sorry. Decent damage now coming down. I'm being pulled onto the rear of the war bear riders. Not going to be liking that whatsoever. 95 armor's decent, but against the shots of the mighty Kislevites right on the back of this light war sled, we're certainly going to struggle. So I am moving forward with my elemental bear. I'm challenging a Godzilla versus King Kong style fight up against my opponent. Want to come in with those big breath attacks, though I am giving to my war bears a cheeky little bit of a hug. I do pop an early lullaby here just to heal up all our troops from that long-range damage we have been receiving. One dead war bear, unfortunately, on the ground, though, shall not be saved. And we come in with the mighty Frost Breath into the Frost Breath counter as these two Goliaths go toe-to-toe up against each other. It seems like mine came out slightly on top there. I also have the war bears and Boris himself leading the charge. Never ask your men to take on a foe you would not take on yourself. And in goes Boris, just slamming home, and he is a meaty beastie. Look how quickly the elemental bear is starting to go down and suffer here. Seems like we are going to get a big buff, though. The 60% damage resistance of the Crystal Sanctuary going down is certainly rather problematic for me. We used to have Constantine running in there, and some Kossar spears just rain shots in from afar. My opponent does summon some winged lancers, likewise did I, to chase down the light war sleds. Looks like I've been dragged into a trap in the trees, though. Should have enough about us to hopefully finish off this one unit before we have to to deal with the Kossar Spears, who are waiting in ambush. Winged Lancers come for a flank charge into our Elemental Bear. That is absolutely fine. I'm going to pull back my War Bear Riders, whip up and around, and slam into the enemy cavalry instead. The Elemental Bear is still getting that 60% damage resistance. Just as I say that, it does indeed go off there. That's going to allow Boris a lot of time to shine, as well as the Elemental Bear. I'm even coming in now with the Shard Blade, just to really neuter the effectiveness of the Winged Lancers and ensure that they do not have the ability to escape my mighty War Bears. A little bit of a sync animation, and the War Bears do give a little bit of push and shove. It's all done out of sweet love, I'm sure, and we are still ahead in the great Elemental Bear fight, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Objectives are now open. Center point is being claimed by us and our Kossar Spears. Also moving another unit out to Objective 3 to help claim it. And I've summoned some more Winged Lancers to help deal with these pesky war sleds, as well as the range tools my opponent is bringing to bear on us. War Bear Riders chasing off Winged Lancers, doing a decent job. My other Winged Lancers did have to fall back there away from the spears, though are taking some considerable damage lurking in the trees. And the Great Bear fight is nearly over. We are still ahead in it. I believe it is mainly due to Boris, though. Boris has kind of been carrying the day. My opponent's got a lot more range attacks done on my bear, so I'm pretty surprised at how well we're doing. War Bears do come in. We do have the Lullaby going down to heal them and my mighty War Bear up here. And the Elemental Bear doth fall. I don't care what happens for the rest of the battle today. We won the Elemental Bear showdown, and that's all that matters. More Winged Lancers going to be charging in. War Bear Riders do meet them with tooth and claw. We're comfortably going to be able to drag down the legendary warriors of Kislev there. Bears beats horse 9 times out of 10. My own Elemental Bear does look a little bit stuck, though. I don't think he's going to be getting out of this one. There's so much pressure coming in by the armored troops and light war sleds, and his HP is dropping really, really rapid. Middle objective has been held by me, though. Winged Lancer versus Winged Lance action. I simply fall back behind my spears. Likewise, the War Bears are in hot retreat now with Boris, trying to get away from the corpse of our dying bear. I love the lore behind it, that it's kind of like the land itself come into life to defend itself. So Kislev, unfortunately, or it does bleed when Kislev goes against Kislev. Winged Lancers getting chased away there by the War Bears. I have managed to summon some of my own light war sleds. Going to be pushing out to the right-hand flank, doing a little bit of a cheeky skirmish with my opponent's light war sleds. And it seems like we are pretty dominant at the moment, tickets-wise at least, as we are about to claim objective point number 3 with some cheap troops. And objective 2 is well and truly ours. My opponent is summoning some armored troops to apply a little bit of pressure to our home objective. As for my opponent's home objective, I am chasing down there. I've got Winged Lancers. I also have some of the War Bears taking out the enemy cavalry. There's not that much protecting objective 1, so maybe I'll be able to make a bit of a push for it, but the War Bears do decide to float back towards the middle instead to help deal with the amassing enemy in front of the objective. Double light war sleds for me now, up against the double of my opponent. My opponents have been out on the field much longer, so we should be able to get some pretty effective trades against them, and in come the light war sleds. Yes, for Kislev! I've never been so patriotic to a make-believe faction before than I have Kislev. They're just so freaking cool. We're running over some of my enemy's troops, as well as doing some decent damage to his lord and counter shooting against the enemy light war sleds where possible. Armored Corsairs, though, whipping out those pistols. Zargard have been brought in as well to try and help push the middle objective, because at the moment my opponent is really struggling to get on and get any tickets of his own. Objective 1 is being contested by both of us, though my opponent is about to claim it. Objective 2 well and truly in my hands as my opponent's war sleds start to go down. Our War Bears come crashing down upon them to rip them limb from limb and wooden plank from wooden plank. Zargard do easily carve their way from my Kossars, though, which is quite problematic for me. More war sleds are on arrival, though, just to continue to try and pin them in and wear them down where possible in the middle. We do summon some more Winged Lancers, going to be floating out to objective 3. I realise the threat of my opponent bringing some more elite infantry to take me down. I do shoot him on the approach, and then what we're going to do here is what I like to call a pro-gamer move. We're going to be falling back with the Kossars right to the very edge of the box, and then coming with the Winged Lancers to pin the enemy in place so we can rain down shots from afar. I just don't want this fight, so I'm running away like the cowardly duckling I am right now, but hey, it's in the name of Kislev, and it's in the name of holding this objective. Winged Lancers lowered, and they do arrive. My opponent forms a mighty shield wall to hold back the cavalry. We are going to slam in, though, pretty damn deep. The formation did hold relatively well. We do have the spears, though, going to be looking to rain in some shots, and objective 3 should still be relatively well secure for me. In the mid-fight, we are starting to lose this central objective, so I'm summoning some cheap infantry of my own to apply a bit of pressure to it. Light war sleds rolling over the armored Kossars, doing a decent job up against them and the Tsar Guard. And look at Boris go, charging in on his glorious mount, just ripping his own kin apart. And yeah, it's looking pretty good for me at the moment. 1,800 ticket lead is really quite solid, but obviously this game's certainly not over till it's over. We need to get to that 5,000 tickets as quickly as physically possible. More Kossars being summoned by me and light war sleds just to secure the middle and run over my opponent's infantry. I'm really loving my light war sled dominance at the moment. Bit of a problem though, my opponent is me rotating a lot of his resources from the mid out to objective 3 as he thinks he has a chance of claiming it. We do see the Griffin Legion summoned. Griffin Legion, pretty badass. I do like their colour scheme quite a bit. They're heavy shot cav, bit more tanky than the Winged Lancers, bit worse than the Polar Bears. Objective 3 does seem like it possibly has the chance of falling here. Our Winged Lancers are starting to go down, just a combined might of so many enemy units. We do have Kossars in support, so I'm going to be rotating over with Light War Sleds, Bear Cavalry, and more Light War Sleds as well to try to hold onto this home objective, as I got a real dominant lead now, but I don't want to get to this situation where I'm stuck defending just one objective and trying to turtle on it, because it is a lot harder to do that than you would think. Kossars continue to rain shots down on the Tsar Guard. I didn't bring that much elite infantry of my own, unfortunately, in my reserves, so it is being quite problematic for me. I'm kind of reliant on my light war sleds to deal with the enemy, and deal with them they do, driving through the Tsar Guard there, doing some massive damage, which I love to see. The Patriarch as well doing a decent job in the middle, screaming bloody war cries in the name of Urson, the great bear god. Victory for Kislev, blood for Kislev. We do have some armored Kossars moving up to support the middle objective, but it looks like my home objective may indeed go down here, which is quite a disaster for me. We have light war sleds being pulled in. We even have my Warbear Riders left. There's 12 models. My opponent is going to disengage with some Griffin Legion and kind of a nice surround. Really lovely micromanagement there by Samurai Warrior, which is what you expect from a player of his quality. I have light war sleds on the approach, as well as the mighty Boris himself, but I don't think we're going to catch up in time. Definitely not without getting surrounded by Winged Lancers. So I actually have to wrap up and around and drag the Winged Lancers into Boris, where he should hopefully be able to drag them down. Now, we have 3,000 tickets to 700. We only need to hold on to one objective. So I decide a rather bold move is that I'm just going to hold this mid objective. It's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to attempt to hold the mid and see how that goes. Put all my resources into a bit of a box. Heart of Winter does go down. We're able to circumvent the worst of it, luckily. Ice Sheet goes down. It should have been done the other way around to slow me in, but we are able to escape that. We've brought Ice Guard Glaives onto the battlefield. So sorry about some of the janky action there zooming in. My mouse is a little bit broken at the moment. Ice Glaives look freaking awesome. Some of the best archer units in the game as well, at least thematically and shot-wise. My opponent also has brought on some Ice Guard Glaives, looking to slow down and delete the light war sleds, who probably aren't going to stand too much of a chance. They're driving those poor bears and just dragging that sled forward, trying desperately to get close to the enemy, but some lovely shots from the Ice Guard is going to be enough to see them off. In the center fight, we still have a lot more troops here. The Kossars are going to be backed up by the Ice Guard now. Gives us a bit more of a stable position. I'm also coming in with a Frost Maiden of Tempest, just the 2 spells, the big boom ones, the ones you would usually expect, to help clear infantry in the center. On the far side, it looks like Objective 3 is still being held by me. My god, Kislev has some sticking power, and we are able to hold this objective far longer than we realistically should have. Griffin Legion over here, Constantines over here. We also have more armored Kossars just pouring onto the objective to hold it, and it has now fallen, but we have a dominant lead. 3,800 tickets to 1,165, plus our magic is afoot. I think I should get some massive friendly fire on my own troops there, unfortunately. It would seem they get dragged into the whirling tempest of ice magic. Boris does carve his way through some Winged Lancers. That's going to be a perfect engagement for him. He is still very healthy in the late game. He's an absolute tank, particularly alongside a Patriarch like this. He can do some really, really nasty damage. Now, the Winged Lancers are going to be going down here. Frost Maiden is still alive. My opponent's also coming with a light war sled, and this is about to be devastating. I spot it and try to run away. My opponent uses light war sleds to pin me in place, and a massive, massive Heart of Winter comes down on all my troops, plus the Ice Sheet slowing us down even more, and all my infantry is about to die. The Ice Guard are going to get eviscerated. Luckily, the Winged Lancers and Boris are able to pull back out. The light war sleds as well, delving over the Ice Guard, just swarming them in all our bare glory. But those glaives are certainly no joke, and sometimes these nasty ladies can even 360 no-scope in combat. combat with their bows. And yeah, they're pretty well adept at killing such units as light war sleds and doing a fantastic job dragging us down. They even apply frostbite, so we can't pull out that quickly. But hey, we're holding them back. We're doing damage. More Zargard and Winged Lancers being supplied to the battlefield. I'm continuing to rain down shots. Not been the most accurate, honestly, with my Winds of Magic, though. So far, my opponent's been bouncing around quite a bit. We are attempting to take down the Frost Maiden of Ice with our Patriarch. We should hopefully be able to do that with Winged Lance support. 4,200 tickets, lads. Only 800 to go. Boris has pointed at Constantine. You're next on my hit list. You wannabe leader of Kislev. Flee, you pathetic coward. And Constantine is running for his life as Boris chases him down. Big spells coming down in the middle. Once again, a bit of a miss. My micromanagement on my spells has been really poor this game, and it's costing us heavily at the moment, because though we are holding the middle objective, my opponent's starting to rack up some pretty impressive damage, and I'm basically all out of money. Light war sleds have been summoned up to Silver Chevron now. I would like to have seen myself apply a bit of pressure to objective 1 and 3. There's only one unit of Corsairs over here. A light war sled will easily kill them, and it would take a lot of pressure off the middle, rather than trying to Helm's Deep on it. Certainly now that we're starting to lose it, I need to move out to those flanks, but I'm not doing that. I've been kind of caught in this trap or just wanting to hold this one objective. 4,500 tickets I currently have. Ice Guard are dispatching the light war sleds. Boris is still very tanky. Constantine showing his true colours there and just running to try and save his own skin. For once, we do some really nice play here of our magic, doing some big Tempest shots down onto the Ice Guard. Boris is pushing his way to take care of the enemy cavalry. Such a close fight here in the middle. It's become an absolute flustercluck of a scrap. Light war sleds delve in. The Zargard army quite problematic for me, though. Boris is trying to get to grips with my enemy at Lord. I do have some more troops summoned. We've got beat up Winged Lancers, Corsairs, everything being chucked towards Objective 2. I need to hold him for just 300 more tickets right here. Very close game. Opponent's not leaving too much on the side objectives either, which is very good news for him. A little bit risky, but hey, he's got to go all in right now, and the objective is starting to be claimed by my opponent. Do I have enough time to hold on here? Light war sleds trying their hardest. Boris is going toe-to-toe with Constantine, and I'm about to come in with some big, fat, juicy magic. My opponent is just about to catch this. Can I kill enough infantry to get him off the objective? The Tempest is swarmed into existence. Ice rips at the flesh of Kislev, but Kislev love the cold, and it looks like the objective has now been claimed by my opponent despite the horrific damage we were able to inflict there with our caster. It was a little bit too little too late, and things all of a sudden look very bleak for us. I put all of my resources, every unit I had, to hold in that central objective, and we lost it. 4,825 tickets for us. I do now desperately start sending out light war sleds to the flank objectives, but I need to capture one of them, and I need to capture it fast because we're on a triple cap timer right now. Corsar Spears are still fighting in the middle, but I have zero chance of claiming this objective now. There's Zargard in here, there's Constantine in here, Armored Corsairs. It's just not going my way whatsoever. Boris needs to try and pull out. I'm trying to drag him out towards objective 1 so I can apply at least a little bit of pressure and hopefully claim one of these objectives. Light war sleds do go out to match the Corsairs. Would easily be able to overwhelm them, but unfortunately there are some Winged Lancers, which is a nice counterplay by my opponent. I'm getting very desperate now. I'm spending more light war sleds over to objective 3. Probably should have sent 2 war sleds this way rather than splitting them up just to try and overwhelm this position, but then my opponent probably would have rotated out from the middle, and I simply cannot get a foothold back into the game. Corsairs are trying their best. A huge mass of his troops in the middle. If I had any more magic left, would definitely be dropping it down upon them. Boris is going to float out towards objective 1. He is speeding. I'm fast as F, boy. Look at him go on his mighty bay. He must be knackered. He's been carrying this game on his back so far, up to 2,700 gold value. So durable, and he is charging towards objective 1, but I think it's going to be too little too late, as objective 3 is not being claimed by me either. I simply don't have enough weight in numbers. I have no money left either. I was spending it all in one big splurge to try to hold objective 3, but I think, alas, that is going to be game, and my opponent shall be victorious, unless Boris can pull off a miracle. But even as he comes in here, he doesn't have enough weight to capture his objective, and my opponent, for the first time in the game, takes the lead in the last few seconds of the game. War sled's about to go down. Boris fighting hard to the bitter end for all that he holds dear, the mighty land of Kislev, but it is going to be game. GG's, well played to Samurai Warrior. Absolutely crazy stuff there. A real wild game in general, and it was super fun to play. This was done on one of Turin's live streams. I believe it was a King of the Hill, and a load of fun on there, so feel free to go check it out. And how did the big elemental bears do? I mean, 1,400 and 1,900 gold value is you know, pretty good. I mean, that's not too bad, right? Neither of them paid for themselves, and that is the highest value I've seen any elemental bear get. I've not seen one get anywhere close to that before. They're normally in the 500 to 600 range, unless you get a big fat breath attack going down the line of some elite infantry. Once again, well played to my opponent. Apologies for my voice in this game. Tried keeping the energy there. And if you missed out at the start, yeah, I basically had surgery yesterday, so video's going to be a bit weird for a while. I'm on some heavy painkillers, and I can't really sit down for longer than half an hour, so I have no idea how I'm going to do live streams yet. I'm going to try and figure a way out around that. And yeah, so it's going to be a bit weird time on the channel for the next couple of weeks. That should hopefully be all sorted in 2 to 3 weeks' time. Lovely stuff, though. I will delve into the damage dealt and damage value of all of these units in just a second, but if you guys enjoyed this one, make sure to leave a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel as well for more Total War Warhammer content, and comment down below what you thought of the battle. Bucket ton of links in the description, Twitch, Patreon, Discord, all that good stuff, and yeah, it was a load of fun. Also, let me know, have you guys been enjoying Game 3 so far? Kind of sucks I've not been able to play with anyone yet. Again, I can't really play the game too much at the moment, apart from in small little dabblings here and there and kind of half-hour sit-ins. So, unfortunately, not being able to enjoy the game with you guys, but I hope you've been enjoying it, so let me know your experiences so far. Boris Urson, awesome badass, 2,800 gold value on him, 77 kills, very impressed with my boy. Elemental Bear, 1.4k, we won the Battle of the Elemental Bears, so though Samurai won the game, props to him, I'm going to claim the moral victory because our bear outlasted the opponents, though his did slightly better. War Bear Riders, fantastic unit, 2,200 gold on them, Patriarch, 1.1k gold value, gives so much durability to my War Bears and Lord. 1.3 on the Frost Maiden, a little bit too little too late though. We kind of brought her in slightly too late, and this is a problem I have a lot with bringing spellcasters in the latter stages of the battle. Fortunately, there's a bug as well where I took off all the spells, but they got reapplied, so you get them for free, which is good, but then she's more expensive to bring in, and then it's harder for you to bring her in, so she came in a bit later than she otherwise would have. 69 kills in the Ice Guard, having an absolute whale of a day. 960 gold value on them as well. Light War Sleds, 2,000, 2,000, 1,300, and 300 value. They are simply the best unit for Kislev. Wing Lancers, 1.5k, 1.5k, and the Kossars did a decent job. Maybe not enough infantry on my side, though. My opponent really dominated with the infantry in the latter stages of the battle. Constantine, 1.9k gold value on him, pretty impressive. No Boris, I'm afraid. Likewise, his caster did some good work, but alas, didn't get as much damage value as my own. Elemental Bears slightly outshone my one, 3.1k and 2.1k damage around the Light War Sled, so they were summoned multiple times, is very impressive. Ice Guard, 1.4k value on them, 850 on the Griffin Legion. The Zargard did okay, unfortunately run over a little bit by the War Sleds. 1,200, 1,400, 1,300 on the Winged Lancers. They were a very big standout for me in general. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, peace, and as always, stay awesome.